Is is already a like up there? How's that even possible? There's a like up there? Wow. I'm not sure what's happening here. But I do appreciate it. Thank you for the like and happy Labor Day weekend. We're here doing it. We're here just doing the thing. You'll notice that I haven't yet there he is right there, Kevin. Good morning, friend. It might be just you and me today, Labor Day. Who knows what's going to happen today? I've got two things that I wanted to feature. I wanted to just, while we're here, just kind of chilling out. Oh, Mark, good morning. Good morning. While we're here just chilling out, I wanted to try to see how long these are going to last. This is the XVive A58, and this is the container it comes in, and it comes in they even give you this free little bit of silica gel in case you needed some extra. And no, really, it's just I haven't used it. I haven't used these to see if how long they actually last for. So today, this is the morning where I do that. So this is the transmitter. I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to extend the old 1/4-inch plug, and the transmitter I'll place in my Stratocaster like so, and then the other end of this I'll have to take you off of the stand in just a second, but I'm turning the transmitter, the receiver on, and just going to let's see, whoops, uh-oh. I think I just changed the channel. So one, there we go. That should be back to where it belongs. Okay, so I'm just going to plug this in here. And so we're featuring the XVive A58. Let me put the guitar down just for a moment. All right. And you can see what I'm plugging it into. I'm plugging it into my Headrush Flex Prime. Good morning, Mark. And right down there. Can you see it? The Headrush Flex Prime, this is going directly, you can see this is the input. So this is going right in there, and I guess it's in, right? That's it. So let's see how well this works. And maybe I'm sure it will work, but I haven't tested it, so you know me, Mr. Honesty. So it's just hopefully it'll work. Seems to work. Okay, that's good. So we'll go ahead and start with, I'll just tune up really quick, and I'll give you the A. Good morning again, Mark. And I think what's going on, let's go ahead and get this back on here and then turn off some of the ambi vibes. There's a ton of echo here that's not always helpful for tuning up. Oh, and you can see what happens with the Headrush Flex Prime too. This is really cool because you have a remote control unit with your iPhone or your iPad or your whatever it is, but you can see that you can actually pop into the patch and you can actually control all of the elements of, let's say you can see I have the amp selected here, and then previous to that there's like a noise gate, and then so you can really have some fun with this. and create your own patches. I actually uploaded my first patch to the Headrush Cloud last night, which is a model of the Chuck Berry sound from the intro lesson that I did of Chuck Berry's, what's that famous song that he wrote? A ton of them, you know. Doesn't sound really like anything with the, it sounds like something completely different with that reverb and delay on it, but I think I'm going to work through. Anyway, I uploaded a Johnny Be Good patch. Sorry to be all over the place this morning. This is completely unexpected. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to do a stream this morning, it being Labor Day, but I thought, well, I'm still going to be playing guitar today, which means that others are likely still going to be playing the guitar today. So I'm really happy you're here with me today. Liam, good morning. So apparently if you can spell out... Really isn't going to work for us today, so I'll try the next patch, the Guitar Super Lead Drive. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that's going to do for us. Let me just change this patch and then see what we can do here. I'm not sure if we'll... There we go. This will be better for what we're looking for today, and we'll see how long this thing is going to last. I have an old jazz 2-pick ready to go, and we'll go ahead and start at 60 beats per minute, and we'll see what happens. 1 E and a 2, T E and a 4. So if you're here, good morning to you, and happy Labor Day weekend, and I hope you're able to enjoy some downtime today. Like there's some sort of like chorusing happening here. Let's see what we can do about that. So I'm currently on the lead setting of the patch, you know, and the volume pedal on the Headrush Flex Prime is all the way up, and it's got a nice little delay. This is the SLO 100, so it's a modeling of Mr. Saldano's SLO 100 amplifier. So if I roll the guitar volume all the way up and down, and take my tone knob all the way up, have some really nice bite, you know, it does have some nice things to offer. So we'll roll that back down a little bit. Get back into fingers 2 and 3. The trick to using this kind of stuff, this kind of technology, is to not let it sort of get in the way, but to let it sort of get used to it and help, and let it help you sort of like expand what you're already doing, you know, and sometimes this could be, you know, this could become an extension of your own personal voice, your own personal guitar voice. And this is just color. It's added color, added texture, and totally not necessary, but definitely a cool thing to check out. I'm going to switch back to the rhythm section of the amp, and that's probably good for a little while here. Fingers 1 and 2 on 10 and 12. Here we go. And if you're just tuning in, I'm Jason. I'm your host this morning. If you are just scrolling by and scrolling in, this is the morning ritual for guitar growth. And I see we have, you know, a decent amount of viewership. So if you're here and maybe you have a guitar in your hand and you're wondering a little bit about what's going on, you can stick around for a few minutes and just, this is literally my morning ritual for guitar growth. This is my morning warm-up, and it's something I decided I would do every weekday morning for the entire year of 2025. Good Lord willing, of course. And you're free. It's free, and you're here to join in when you want. Do something else when you want. It's a free sort of open door policy. And hey, good morning, Lex. I was just wondering if my live chat was stuck, and so you've proven to me now that it's just we're all so focused on playing that we're not chatting too much. That's good. No, I appreciate that. Good morning, Lex, and happy Labor Day weekend. So fingers, we did all these. We did all this 2-finger contiguous finger groups. So now we're moving on to 2 and 4, and then 1 and 3, and then eventually to 1 and 4. So let's go ahead and do that now. 1 E and 2. You know what to do. Took yesterday. We moved a ton of dirt around the yard. We got the tractor going and the bucket out, and then we ended up moving some of the loam and some of the soil from one ridge to fill in this and swale out another sort of and slow the slope around one of the buildings on the property. So we had a pretty busy day yesterday. We were fairly industrious. Burned some diesel fuel, you know what I mean? And burned a few calories along the way. Probably toasted a few skin cells too, I guess, out there in the solar. So fingers 1 and 3, fingers 1 and 3. Speaking of solar, I have a video coming that's going to drop, and it's going to just get us back into the world of our jazz approach too, which is really fun. But this is approachable this is making approachable some complicated songs to like solo guitar enthusiasts. For example, there's a tune called Solar that's really a famous sort of popular sort of jazz tune, jazz head. What I'm going to do is teach you how to play it with the bass note and the melody at the same time. So it's not going to be too difficult, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. So it's a fun thing to do, and it's a great discipline to be engaged with. That'll be a fun thing to witness. And then fingers 1 and 4 on 7 and 12. Yeah, just here observing the Labor Day weekend. The extended weekend, yeah. And we're here together. This is great. pretty simple. All right, so we'll go ahead and I'm going to see if I can find another tone here. Almost Clean US. Let's see what this is. Let's take a look at something else here. Bear with me for one moment. Thank you so much for being patient with me. I appreciate this. A classic Mark. All right, so I'm a huge Mesa Boogie fan, as you know. I'm used to that, so the way this sort of breaks up. So let's see what happens here, if it feels like home or not for me. I'm just going to spend some time here. So we'll start with fingers 2 and 3 and 4 on 10, 11, and 12. And hopefully the levels, the levels are, hopefully they're okay, you know. And it does bite back a little bit. So I'm going really, really super light. I might have to adjust the noise gate here because I'll go so light it will turn itself off. Let's get rid of that noise gate and see what that does. Yeah, that's pretty, that's pretty good. Nice and lightweight, and then I'm going to dig a little bit more, and you can hear that it responds the similar way like a tube amp would. It gets more woolly. And it cleans itself up. Let's see what it does with some chords in a second, you know. Nicely shaven tone. See what happens when we dig a little harder. It's really nice. This is actually the first warm-up session I think I've done with the Headrush Flex Prime. So you can see that I've also got a wireless unit that I'm testing in the guitar, which is the XVive A58, and I wanted just to see if it will go an hour no problem. I think it will. Fingers 1 and 2 and 3 on 9, 10, and 12, and let's go and continue along. 1, 2, and here we go. Yeah, we're almost getting along to the top of the hour. What happens if I touch down and hit on that lead button? It still stays pretty clean if you're light. And yeah, it's just kind of what I expected, you know. It's one of these, you know, the amp, you typically have to learn how to tame those amps, you know. They can sound really good, or they can sound really sort of like, well, we're not putting them to full range of their work capacity, you know what I mean? let's see what we got. So fingers 1 and 2 and 4 on 9, 10 and 12. Here we go. And if you're just tuning in, we're on the basically the morning ritual for guitar growth. I don't know, it's just kind of feeling really chill this morning. Not something that I really anticipated doing today. But, I'm here. I told you I was going to be honest with you the whole year. That's what I'm going to do. We've got a bunch of family things sort of hopefully aligned for today. I really need to put a couple shingles on a building. I really need to get that done, so maybe that will be done today. Trim up some bushes. Now that the birds' nests are moved out of those bushes, I think they've moved along for the season, so I think it's safe to get a few of those trimmed up. Do you have any plans for today? Are you doing like barbecues or something, or taking some time for yourselves? Maybe playing a little extra guitar today. Fingers 1 and 3 and 4 on 9, 11 and 12. That's pretty fairly responsive, right down to almost no pressure. I really enjoy that. It's okay to start mixing up these patterns, with the finger roll. So 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 through 2, 1. You could even put some stretches out there. So instead of having fingers 3 and 1, 3 and 4, just contiguous, you could also, of course, just give yourself a little extra exercise. And so that being said, we can also start to stretch that first finger back. So all of these exercises that we know, we have the capacity to, if we think of these ideas, this is part of the beauty of the guitar being the guitar practitioner, like serious guitar practitioners. And this is how we turn ourselves into the late great Mr. Alan Holdsworth, you know what I mean? Doing exercises like this, like these. Like and smash, the stretch. Oh yeah, that's good. Good. So we've got these really cool ideas that we can use with multi-fingers. They're super helpful because we'll run into these in the wild, that's for sure. It's a good idea to have those sort of available. And I think that's a pretty good place to be. No cable here. Oh, you can see on the back of my guitar, I take I put an extra spring in it so I can basically turn this thing into a hardtail. I'm considering just kind of getting it back so it's like floating a little bit more, and I can use this bridge instead of like Stevie Ray Vaughan might, or I could get it to sort of respond a little bit more like Jeff Beck or David Gilmour, those kinds of tremolos. And there's a really nice bar that comes with this beautiful Wilkinson hardware. This is just a beautiful, beautiful piece of hardware here. And yeah, you can see the 4 springs, and they're starting to they've been holding pretty well for a while now. One thing I really love about this guitar is the heel joint, the heel pocket. It's just super tight. It's like a suction cup pulling it out of here, you know. The neck is a perfectly quarter sawn. If you haven't seen it yet, this is really something to observe. I've never seen a perfectly quarter sawn guitar neck, and this is the only one I have where the grain all goes parallel with the length of the neck. I don't know if you can see it here or not. I don't really know. But you can. Look at that freaking grain. I mean, oh my word, dude. Like, I've never seen anything like it. I've had hundreds and hundreds of guitars, but I don't think I've ever seen anything quite so beautiful. And the skunk line, just look at it, you know? Super clean. Kind of like the shape of the headstock too. Just sort of understated, really good feel, contours to it. And but let's see, I'm going to tag something right here, right now, because I have on this today, I have the, I am featuring the old Headrush Flex Prime. The Headrush Flex Prime is being featured today, so I'm going to go ahead and tag that. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to tag the X-Vive A58, just if you don't mind. I'm just going to do it. X-Vive, my big fat fingers here, X-Vive, and then pardon me, I'm really sorry about that. Pardon me just for a moment. The A58, and see if that pulls up anything. Oh, it does. Yeah, over to Guitar Center. So we have a beautiful option here too. You know, I think these are fair enough, like good. I do appreciate these for sure. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm just testing out these little pieces of gear. I've never used those things sort of as, you know, warm-up tools. And I want to see if I can burn through the batteries on these A58. So I'm kind of cataloging how many hours, how many minutes I get out of each, you know, that's reliable minutes. Just doing a sort of a field test here. So yeah, and I appreciate you humoring me and being here to play some more guitar today. I do appreciate that. And sitting down with a guitar is just, there's nothing quite like it, you know. All right, so we have, this is feeling pretty good this morning. I don't believe I had a guitar in hand at all yesterday. It was a pretty busy day yesterday, but we just took off and did some family, just completely dedicated and devoted to family time, which is if we have some family, good idea to, you know, just try to take some time, be there. Yeah, it's a good way to rebuild these communities in which we live and serve. So, and I know you know that. So, yeah, I see we're right down to four players here. You know, hopefully you're still playing along, and I think we're going to let's get right into the Four Finger Wonders, you know, and see if I can wake up a little bit. We got a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a yawn. Stretch that lower back out. And then go ahead and switch those thumbs over. Same thing. Got to really focus on letting my lower back do this. I hold a lot of tension in my lower back. I don't know about you guys, the gang, but it's an ungodly amount of pain, but that's okay. So I have these really nice ginger tones, and then just to explore different tones and different possibilities all in one patch. I think this is representing the Mark II fairly well, fairly reasonably, and let's do something like works well even when you play two notes together, you double stop. Sometimes they don't really sound sometimes when you hear a modeler and you place two tones that are bending into one another, they don't really respond well together. They kind of get all clinky and jangly, but these seem to respond like an amp would respond. I think it's okay. I'm enjoying it. It's getting sort of the blood moving around, you know what I mean? It's getting me a little excited. Let's just jump right back into the 4-finger groups, right? So fingers 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's getting that phone up in the air again feels good. You've got your volume a little loud for your voice, but I have to turn it down every time you play and turn it up when you talk. No biggie, just say, gotcha, I'll start. I'll just settle down a little bit. Settle down, Jason. We're gonna have to ask you to leave the classroom if you can't behave. Oh yeah. Spent my fair share of time in the hallway. You can probably tell, right? Take one look at me, that I'm like, oh yeah, he's not a conformist. That's not the name of his game. But it is really fun to just get that let out. It really does make a difference. Oh, it's 5 a.m. That's ringing a bell. We were traveling the other day. We went over to visit a rural fair. These ag fairs, these agricultural fairs that happen across the Americas, America. And they're really the heart and soul of especially the trustees, the board of trustees, the trustees for these fairs are keeping all of this local community flavor alive. I don't know how much you have paid attention to that in your days, but I know the trustees of these ag fairs are they're just godsends, you know, to the American culture. And they keep those local flavors alive. And we're driving around and we're listening through some country music, and we hit Toby Keith, we hit Keith Whitley, we hit you know, a bunch of players, and then Hal Ketchum came back up to mind and top of mind with the 5 o'clock world, right? And then you hear the and no one owns a piece of my time. It's a 5 o'clock world and the whistle blows. And then there's some really nice like yodeling in the song. Just a beautiful piece of work, and some really wonderful guitar work in there. A lot of great parts being played in a song like that. So let's do the 1, 2, 3 stretch 4. And here we go. Go 1C and the 2C and I'm putting on my shoes. I was kind of wondering how the guitar sound was going to work, you know. To the way my voice is. I'm relying on this super simple, like low barrier for entry setup. It's just a little mobile, it's an old iPhone like, I don't know, it's not the first model, it's like 13 or something, but it's in there, you know, it's up there somewhere, but I'm just relying on the front-facing camera, the, you know, the selfie camera, and then the built-in audio, and you know, it's good for what it is, you know, but it's not really the pristine audio that we would like to have. But it does get the job done in the mornings, you know. It does kind of make the barrier for entry super easy. It doesn't make it super super fun to look at or super fun to listen to. But that's not really the point. The point is to hopefully I'm able to get out of your way, and hopefully you're able to just get down to working with your instrument. You know, that's the whole goal here. As Billy Bob Thornton said, that's the point. You know, just super easy. All right, fingers 1, 2. Let's just do the kickstand here, and we'll continue with our journey. 1 E and a 2. We'll put that click on 2 and 4. T E and A. Here we go. Can't believe we're doing this. This is it's a holiday. What are we thinking about? What are we doing being here on a holiday? I actually asked my wife today, I'm like, should I do this today? I'm considering just giving everybody a day off and giving myself a day off. I'm looking at her on the way out the door. I've got my backpack. I have my go bag before I hit the road, you know what I mean? And I said, so should I do this today? And she's like, she said, yes, absolutely. And I thought, okay, she's got my number, I'll tell you. It looks and sounds really good. You're dialed in nice. Oh, I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, you've got it locked in. Now, Mark, do you play along with headphones? Do you listen in with headphones? I can see all the notes and volume levels are awesome. It's that low barrier. I'll take it. Yeah. All right, I appreciate that encouragement. That's all I need is a little bit of encouragement, and then the next thing you know, I'll be needing to spend bail money, you know. Oh boy. So we're done with the 1, 2, with the 2. Did I see Marco just pop in here? Hey, Marco's here. Good morning, Marco. Good morning, friend. Good morning. I'm going to play golf with my 2 sons, then hopefully take the day off. Good for you. I'll tell you what, we'll put you on our prayer list and pray that you're able to take the day off. Man, but enjoy that day, that golf, man. Good for you. What a beautiful thing, you know. Love the sound of that, man. Chronic Vibes. Hi, Grandpa. Hey, Uncle Pico. Uncle Pecco. Uncle Pecco, good morning. Why are people watching this? I don't know. Why do people climb Mount Everest? You know, I don't know. I don't know. I bet if you think about it a little bit, you can figure it out for yourself, though. That's what I think. So 1 E and 2. I'm just doing this diagonal patterns, and we'll go ahead and get started here. So if you've been here, you know what's going on. Okay, got you, Mark. Sometimes I want to play my acoustic, but it's just too loud for the 430. Yeah, I gotcha. And marriage won't survive that kind of. That's a lot of stress to put on a marriage. Yeah, we've decided, you know, we have to take out, you know, like traveler's insurance. Like when we stay at hotel rooms, we tend to like throw TVs through walls and break sheetrock. So we have to carry additional, you know, additional coverage for that kind of stuff. No, I just, you know, obviously we don't do that. Man, I'm too old to do that. I've actually never done that. I've had a pretty healthy respect for other people's property. You know what I mean? I've had a pretty healthy respect for that. I know some of us are just, you know, way too rock and roll to bother, but I've never really been that dude. You know what I've been really wondering a lot recently? Yeah, this has just got me going, you know, and it's nothing against anybody, but every time I see like an accomplished jazzer, you know, like a jazz guitar player, let's just keep it framed in the world, but everybody basically, I've only seen one person smile, but on an album cover, we're all just so like serious. You know, it's like usually something like this, like. Or, you know, then I never see a jazzer smile. You'd think they were in corrections or something. You know what I mean? You can't smile if you're a corrections officer. But I just think maybe we could lighten it up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Just bring it up a little bit. I know we're all serious about what we do. You know, it's basically like space travel. If you're really refining ourselves to the point where we can do whatever we want, whenever we want on an instrument. But, you know, I'd love to see more smiles on the planet. You know, I just love to see more. It doesn't really matter. I just thought about that the other day, and I thought, just one of my friends just released a huge record. Really wonderful jazz guitarist, like one of the bros, and he just got this serious face on. And I'm like, he's a really cool guy to hang around with. But for some reason, there's that air of serious, you know? There's serious there. I just got wondering about, that's all. So, what are we doing? Let's go ahead and work through some minor pentatonicism. Let's do that. And today I'm only using one attack per string and just going to work on some like hammer-ons and pull-offs. Ooh, that's a little loud. Let's see if we can back that volume It's cool. This thing is cool because it has a volume pedal on it, right? And everybody knows volume pedals are cool because you can keep the guitar wide open and then, you know, move the volume around. Just hammer-ons and pull-offs, so one attack per string. I didn't stay married 44 years for nothing. Yeah, that's right. These exercises improve your guitar playing ability unless you like strumming chords, you know, into, yeah, ad infinitum or ad nauseum, right? Oh, there's worst album covers. Okay, thank you. I mean, you know what? You're supposed to be celebrating your craft. You know, and I get the feeling like if I remember being there and thinking, you know, I'm very serious, so I want other serious musicians and serious people to listen to me, but the music is really, you know, the trick is to teach appreciation to the masses so that we can all show up at the concert and be sort of like listening and observing like really good, highly evolved people, you know, so I think it's supposed to be for everybody. But nothing against anything, you know, I understand what's going on, I understand why we do what we do. That's a little greasy right there. That tone's a little too greasy for me. I think this is pretty much the approach that we're looking for. I'm starting to get to the place where, you know, we can kind of follow through this becomes a sweep picking exercise, right? Because we're, you know, if we time the passage of that pick through the string set correctly, we can basically just keep sweeping at the same rate of speed. We're not plucking through one string, stopping and waiting, resting on, pluck through, stop on the next smaller string, rest, take a yawn, wait for everything else to catch up and then move along. You know, here's this quick, you know, my pick is loaded, the string is loaded with tension, and then pop through, wait, let's wait. The right hand is such a delicate animal to attenuate to actually what we want it to do. So, and it's so hard for me. One of the hardest things about sweep picking for me to really do, and still do today because I'm way out of practice for sweep picking. You know, when I was 15, 16, 17 years old, I was pretty damn near an expert. But this is, you know, kind of how I would want to work my right hand, my picking hand, sorry. Because I know some of us are using left hand to pick hand, you know. And it's just really important to kind of keep that. This is so one E and a da 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 da, or one E and a. One E and a, 2 E and a, T E and a, 4 E and a. And if you can practice that with your right hand and really start to get that, smooth that out and breathe through that, this will become a lot easier now. I think a lot of it has to do with how well do we know the pattern and the fret hand, right? but you get the idea, and that's really some fun stuff to do. All right, Marzak, what we got going on here? Uncle Pika, oh, okay, right. I'll check out the worst album covers on YouTube. That's really cool. I really do appreciate that. So what am I also going to do today? Since I have an electric guitar, one of the things that I don't typically practice enough is the, you heard me make reference to the, you know, the great Stairway to Heaven solo. Of course, it gets all of us very excited to just hear it, because we know that it's probably one of the greatest, even though it's mostly overheard. It's, you know, in the opinion of some, it's one of the greatest guitar solos ever written or recorded. And some, it's, you know, it's cliche and I'll never play that, and that's okay. But I really like to focus on bending and tuning up my bend, you know. And I like to use reinforcements behind each finger. And because I'm a 4-fingered guitar player, I like to utilize all 4 fingers. So now I know I want to bend up a whole step. So I'll go up here, just travel up here, and listen for that tone. Go back to the pentatonic. And bend that note up a whole step or half step, and just double check that I'm in tune. So I'm really relying on my ear in this I guess this system or this situation. Now, one thing that we could do, especially as acoustic guitar players, we don't typically like to bend. Maybe we're okay with bending and suffering a little bit. We'll suffer the consequences of bending the top 2 strings, but when we get to the wound G string, it's like, I don't think so, pal. You know what? Let's keep that silly bending stuff for the electric guitars, you know. I always practice those licks with slides instead, so I want to know how to do this both ways. The thing that I would use a slide for, or a bend for, I'll use a slide. And then like you're listening to the beginning of a Tool song, you know? Oh, the slide sounds good on headphones. Yeah, good. Yeah. So now what we do is just slide into the next shape up, and then if you wanted to, you can go ahead and download it. You probably already have it. Maybe you do. I don't know. There's a PDF, like an entire blues, or not blues, but like a pentatonic binder. In one of the videos that I recently did, it's like 5 scales that will change your life or change your guitar playing forever, or whatever. You know, that the old clickbaity thing. We're just trying it out, but it's a really great binder, though. I guarantee you it's a great binder. So you can get that if you go visit that video. I forget what the link is, but you can find that link by searching my channel for like 5 shapes that will change your life forever, or something like that. Or pentatonic. There's probably a pentatonic playlist or something somewhere if you really wanted to find it. But go download it, it's free. So we're taking shape number 1 for the last 3 minutes here. And then we're basically sliding in and out of the next shape of, the next, or shape 2 of the pentatonics, right? So sometimes if I slide with the 3rd finger, it doesn't really make sense because this shape is, to me, 2-4, 2-4, 1-4, 1-4, 1-3, 2-4, 2-4. So I'll just slide it and practice sliding in and out and building phrases, because I saw Sean McGowan, my good old friend Sean McGowan, was doing some guitar work for it's Collings Guitars, right, in Texas. So he was playing, they got some video of him playing one of their guitars, and he's just a really wonderful player. But one of the things that he was like talking about early on was, part of your phrasing comes from, do you play in the same position all the time? If so, that's okay, because that will be your voice on the guitar, but you could also extend that by, and this is pretty well, a generally well accepted principle on the guitar, but there are ways to slide into with finger 3 and back out of. Now if I decide to use, go shift up and then come back and do a pull off to get back to those notes. That's a lot, really, that just to kind of check out a couple patterns and get to know those and sliding in and out of those, or bending in and out of those, right? So those are really fun ways to get in and out of the guitar and just develop some new ideas and new melodic patterns that we might have just waiting to arrive. Well, anyway, there we have it. It's the end of the session. Can't really go swamping regular tuning, but it's really, yeah. Learning to love to play slide. Oh, slide, got you. Yeah, slide guitar is just something else. Kevin, all right, there you are. Thank you very much, man. Great to be here today. I hope you have a super day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. And until we meet again, there we go. Let's close it up. Until we meet again, gang, happy picking. Yes, indeed. See you, Mark.